WCW Worldwide Wrestling from Universal Studios, Florida. And I'm Tony Schiavone, along with the Brain, Bobby Heenan. Hugh Morris will begin things this week, Brain, and as we are into the month of December, the entire world is thinking about one thing: the Sting-Hogan matchup at Starrcade at the end of the month on the 28th.
Well, every place I go, Tony, and you know we travel a lot together. They're talking about it on airplanes, airports, hotels, restaurants. The word is out. Sting and Hogan are going to meet in D.C. Pick me a winner.
It's going to be the MCI Center in Washington, D.C. I can't pick a winner right now, although I want, and I think most of the world would love to see Sting get the World Heavyweight Championship away from Hollywood Hogan. We're going to begin things here with Hugh Morris, Hard Body Harris in this program. Yuji Nagata will be here. Hector Garza from Mexico. High voltage and tag team action. Greg the Hammer Valentine and the Barbarian and Ming in our feature bout against Villanos 4 and 5.
A lot of things happening.
Boy, you're not kidding. How about Eric Bischoff and Larry Zbyszko?
Oh.
And the fact that they have agreed now to wrestle one-on-one and coming up at Starrcade as well.
Bischoff must have been kicked by a horse or something to sign for a match like that, or accept a match like that, or even to get involved with something like that. Sure, Zbyszko's been sitting behind a mic for a while, but that doesn't mean he's out of shape. That doesn't mean you don't forget how to ride a bike. You don't forget how to wrestle.
Well, let me say this honestly. Eric Bischoff is a very tough individual. He's a martial artist. He has a black belt degree in martial arts, and also has been competing in karate tournaments. So he can go, but being in the ring against a guy like Larry Zbyszko is much different than just knowing the martial arts.
Well, getting one of those padded jackets and a big long robe belt around your waist from some bathrobe, and then painted black, and then watch a couple Bruce Lee movies. It's a little different when you're in it with Zbyszko, who doesn't like you.
Zbyszko is going to be wrestling with purpose against Eric Bischoff, but you know, fans, and you know, Brain, Eric Bischoff's going to have the entire NWO watching out for him. Probably, I would say, watching out for him as never before. He's the money man.
That's right. And he's also the brains of the outfit. He put the whole thing together, along with Hogan's connections. I'm talking about the NWO. Yeah, he's a dangerous man in a lot of ways.
Humorous with a reverse chinlock, almost like a sleeper hold here on Hard Body Harris. And Hardbody gets up, and Hardbody with a jawbreaker gets out of that maneuver. Nicely done by Harris.
Morris is a real thick guy.
Is he ever very tough to defeat, very tough to wear down. Harris, though, doing a pretty darn good job of up against the ropes in a chokehold, and now we'll send Hugh Morris. No, he won. Hugh Morris reverts it, picks him up. Look at that. A lot of power in that man, Brain.
Boy, you're not kidding.
Look at his goatee. Notice how he has
metal.
It's something. He's an odd man. Spin wheel kick by Hugh Morris. Very agile as well. Hugh Morris covers 1, 2. Got a 2 count.
Those lug nuts he's got. Bolts or something in his chin, or
he may have. He's a very different individual, but he's very successful as well. As
Hardbody's just giving away too much weight and experience here.
Most people do that against Hugh Morris. Well, fans, Sting and Hogan, you can talk about this. You can size up the possibilities in the matchup. Unfortunately, as much as I want to see it finally be one-on-one against Hogan and Sting, I don't think it's going to be. I think that the NWO is going to begin from the opening bell. Hogan probably will not walk out of the ring by himself. Now, he could, and hopefully I'm wrong, but I don't think he will. I think if the heat gets too much for him, that you'll see members of the NWO come out. Because, hey, Brain, the old adage goes, as the champion, you don't have to beat him, he's got to beat you. So Hogan can just let the NWO protect his back all over the place coming up in the nation's capital December 28th.
But do you think after a year and a half of all the mental torment and anguish that Sting's gone through and the abuse he's taken and trying to destroy this man's reputation, and the baseball bats and coming down and the limos and everything being smashed and the bodies and the trail of broken bones in the last year and a half. You think he's just going to be happy with having a match with Hogan? He wants to take the title from this guy because that's what will destroy him. That's what drove Hogan over the edge now, is because he couldn't stand the popular. Look at the distance. Look at the distance.
Oh, it's caught no laughing matter, and he got it. The reverse moonsault got him, pinned him. Humorous gets the win here on Worldwide Wrestling. Well, for Sting, winning the title, will it be enough, or maybe taking Hogan apart, hurting Hollywood Hogan? Little payback for all the injuries dished out by the NWO over the past couple of months.
You're right. Like I was saying, he didn't wait a year and a half just to defeat the man. You may see the last of Hollywood Hulk Hogan. I hope so. I really hope so.
You're not the only one that hopes so. Okay, Humorous gets the win here on WCW Worldwide, and Brain, you can have the replay here.
Thank you, Mr. Schiavone. Look at the power of this man. Hard body Harris hits that mat very, very hard, courtesy of Hugh Mort. Off that top rope, finds his mark like a rocket, like a missile. The 1, 2, 3. Your winner, Hugh Mort. Big, big man. Hogan, watch. Be careful. Sting's looking for you.
Still to come in this program, Ming and the Barbarian against the Villanos in our feature bout. And Brain, as we head to Starrcade, Sting and Hogan, the biggest match in the history of our sport. Later on, here in the month of December, the NWO is getting stronger. We've talked about very soon Bret Hart will become a part of the New World Order. We've seen Rick Rude. Who else will become a part of the NWO before Starrcade?
And you saw just a month or so ago the way the NWO took it to Sting. They all grabbed him, held him, knocked him down. And Hogan single-handedly, all by himself, put the boots to the man, whipped him, while everyone else knocked him down and held him. Sting, if you think you're going to get in that ring and have a piece of cake, night off evening with Hogan, forget it. This man's prepared to fight you. It's going to be the biggest fight of both of your lives.
We'll have more Worldwide Wrestling after this timeout.
Well, everybody, Stagger Lee Marshall here, and everybody talking about how to get tickets to Starrcade. Well, it's going to be at the MCI Center in our nation's capital, Sunday, December 28th at 6:30. What you do is you call the number you're going to see on your screen, or contact a Ticketmaster outlet near you anywhere in North America, and they'll take care of you for Starrcade. It's going to be Hollywood Hulk Hogan. It's going to be Sting. It's going to be the day history changes in professional wrestling. By the way, I have an opportunity to bring in a man that, well, nobody's really heard a lot from. It's Glacier, and this is really a great opportunity for you, Glacier.
Thank you, Mr.
A chance
Marshall.
to set the record straight, let people know where you really stand.
Oh, well, before we get into that, let me just say, once again, wow, you look great.
Well, thanks. Thanks very much for noticing.
Oh, sure, my pleasure. As far as what you were talking about, as far as Ernest and I having a little friction, we'll get to that later. It's no big deal. Right now, let's look at Starrcade coming to Washington, D.C., the home of our president, Mr. Bill Clinton.
Yep, the cradle of democracy.
Oh, what a role model.
I know. Speaking of role models, it's interesting you bring that up. I see fans in the WCW offices. This man gets more letters from kids. You really are quite a role model, and that's a big responsibility.
And one I do not take lightly, Mr. Marshall. I mean, I have little kids, big kids, all kinds, but, it's good to be a role model. I enjoy being a role model. And, doing charity, things that like Mr. Jerry Lewis does, stuff like that. Oh, it's so good. I mean, it makes you feel, just kind of gets you right there, you know?
Does.
And, oh gosh, it just makes you feel so good that I want to go run. I got to take a train to Washington, go up there, do a little charity there before Starrcade. Something that I'm sure I'm not going to miss. I wouldn't miss it for the world. God, it's going to be so good.
You're going to go do charity right now? Right now? Well, I guess there's no time like the present to do charity work. No time like right now as well to make your plans to join us for Starrcade. Get your tickets, but act very, very quickly. And if you can't join us in person, then please make plans to join us on pay-per-view. It's Starrcade, December 28th.
Action continues. Do not forget, Starrcade, the countdown continues. In 1983, Starrcade was born in Greensboro, North Carolina. It became the first mega wrestling event around the world. But 1997, 15 years removed from that, we have the biggest match pro wrestling has ever seen, Sting and Hollywood Hogan.
You're talking about the match of the decade, match of the century. I don't think so. I think this is the match of a lifetime. This is something every fan out there, I don't care if you're a wrestling fan or not, you know the name Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
You know the name Sting.
There it is. The biggest.
The two biggest names for the biggest prize, the biggest title on the biggest night of the year. Can't get any better than that. Starrcade,
In the nation's capital.
the brand new MCI Center. Hector Garza from Mexico comes out, and he will go up against Hector Guerrero. Should be a good matchup. These two know each other quite well, Brady.
Want me to pick a winner? I'm going to take Hector.
You're probably going to be right. Both men are named Hector.
It's not my fault.
Hector Guerrero and Hector Garza in this one-on-one matchup. What do you look for here, Brain?
I look for a lot of aerial maneuvers.
And probably Hector to win, right?
I look for Hector to score a good win here. And I also look for Hector to lose. So, you never know.
Well, here's something you need to know even if your name's not Hector, and that's this phone number, 202-432-SEAT. Father Body Stagger Lee Marshall. A couple of times today, you're going to hear that number. Get a paper and a pencil, and be sure you write it down, because that's the number to call to get tickets to Starrcade. Fans, they are going quickly. It's December 28th, Washington, D.C. in the new MCI Center. You can get your tickets at a nearby Ticketmaster, or call that number, 202-432-SEAT.
Oh! Hector got Hector good there. You know, talking about MCI Center, talking about a Hogan's Thing on the 28th of December, what a weekend that's going to be, you know, because the day after that, we're on our way to Baltimore for Nitro. So what a great wrestling weekend for the people in the DC, well, in the world, really in the world.
Yeah, and it's a great way to end up what, in many ways, wrestling fans will feel that 1997, and 1997 was one of the greatest years in pro wrestling. And, you know, I know we all want WCW to come out ahead in this war, but it's been good for the fans. It's been some great wrestling and great matches.
You know, another thing, and I hope Sting doesn't think that he's got him. Nope. Hector's got Hector. Nope.
The other way.
Don't think for a second that Hogan is a slouch. As much as we talk about him, as much of him, he's a big mouth and a liar, and he's got all those goons with the NWO behind him. I've been in there for years with that man. I've managed against him, and I know what he's capable of. It's not going to be a cakewalk for Sting. Not at all. This man's reputation and his title's at stake. And no one's got a bigger ego than this man. So Sting's going to have to... Don't think you're going to get a guy running from you all night, or a coward, or a chicken, or a low-life loser like he is. He is that, but he will fight you, and he's capable of winning. And you know that, Tony.
I think the world knows that, Brain, as you take a look at some of the world here tonight. Part of Worldwide Wrestling. Garza. Great move by Garza. Jumps on the outside, forearm shot. Up on top, Hector Garza. Missile drop kick on Hector Guerrero. Standing reverse moonsault.
Told you. Hector won the match. Knew it.
And
you feel it in your bones sometimes, you know?
And Hector lost the match too, Brain.
Yeah, that's what I said too. That's just, boy, I should go to a racetrack or Vegas. I'm going to roll.
That's why you're called the Brain, right?
Oh, you got that one. You hit the head on the nail, or the nail on the head, or Hector on Hector.
Your winner, Hector Garza.
Your loser, Hector.
More great WCW action continues this week on Worldwide Wrestling as one of the fine international stars, and I don't mean Sonny Ono, I mean the man in tow, Yuji Nagata, will participate in this next matchup.
Sonny's regarded almost like the emperor over in Japan.
Then why does he stay over there and leave us alone?
Because he just has this yen for American money. Turn it into yen.
Because he is a con man.
Not a con man.
He is a con man. He is a shyster.
Him?
Yes.
What, does he look dishonest to you?
Yes, he does. He doesn't know you, does he?
No,
Because you look dishonest as well.
I look dishonest to him?
I'm sure you do.
Well, that little cut off.
You look dishonest to a lot of... Keith Shearer is the opponent here for Yuji Nagata. Yuji Nagata, not too long ago, World War III, the Ultimo Dragon had his chance at winning, had his chance at maybe getting his hands on Sonny Ono for 5 minutes, but thanks to Sonny Ono and his antics at ringside, that chance has passed the Ultimo Dragon by.
Well, the Ultimate Schmo had his opportunity to get his hands on Sonny, and he couldn't do it.
Should have won the match, Brain. What are you talking about?
Shoulda ones don't do it. It's who wins.
Hopefully, Ultimo.
Kicked him right in his key.
That's what he did. Hopefully, Ultimo Dragon will get another shot at Yuji Nagata and thus another shot at Sonny Ono.
Well, I think it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to get a shot at Sonny Ono.
I think as long as James J. Dillon is back and in charge of WCW, it's going to make life miserable to Sonny Ono. You just can't go around with money thinking you can buy your way here and buy your way there, and money does all your talking for you.
But you know, everyone's on the take in this world. Everyone's got their hand out for something. All you got to do, Tony, would you cheer for Hulk Hogan?
No.
If I gave you $1 million cash, would you cheer for him?
No.
$10 million cash.
Yeah.
Well, now we've established you're on the tape. Now we just have to work it down to find out how much. See, it's very simple. Kick him, Sonny.
Sonny Ono, much like Eric Bischoff we talked about, not a wrestler, but well-schooled in the martial arts. As a matter of fact, speaking of Eric Bischoff, in just a few moments, we'll show you, fans, the conversation between Bischoff and
friendly Japanese neighborhood.
I'm talking here. Shut up a second.
Talking to me or him?
No, both. We'll show you some of the Nitro footage that led to Eric and Larry's match that will transpire at Starrcade on December 28th. Yuji Nagata, so many ways he can hurt you. One of them, of course, the Nagata lock, which is a submission hold. Almost a standing reverse figure four, and that's what he's setting him up here for, Brain. Brain? Talk, Brain.
You told me to shut up a minute ago, now you tell me to talk. What am I, a puppet?
Boy, you get mad easily, don't you?
No, I don't.
Oh, yeah, you do. Here's a...
Oh!
Nagata.
Oh. Listen. Oh.
Keith Shearer tries to rebound, and he gets caught, and Nagata suplexes him over the top. Here he goes. Standing figure four, reverse figure
that
four.
hurts right on the shin and the knee, and just about every place from the waist down, that hurts.
And he drives back, and Yuji Nagata with his Nagata lock gets the win. Here's Sonny Ono.
What's this? What's this?
He's trying to pay off the referee.
No, you know what it is? I saw that earlier. It's a postcard from Mount Fuji. His aunt sent him, and he just wants to show you the snow-capped mountains. That's what it is. He showed it to me earlier. I don't think he would pay off he's not like a Mike Ditka. I mean, he wouldn't pay off an official right in the ring there.
Neither would Mike Dick. Would you shut up? Let's go to our replay brought to you by Snickers on Worldwide Wrestling. Have some money given to Yuji Nagata. All right, Brain, take it away with our Snickers replay.
You told me to shut up. Now you want me to talk.
Go ahead.
Nagata outsmarts Shearer here. Nails him right to the mat. Puts that Nagata leg lock on. All the pain goes on the shin, knee, ankle. You gotta give up. It's no laughing matter. Nothing to snicker about.
With our Snickers replay, your winner, Yuji Nagata. Let's take you back briefly to some highlights of Nitro.
Well, hi, everybody. Lee Marshall here, and the word on everybody's lips, no matter where we go, has to do with Starrcade. Sunday, December 28th at that brand new MCI Center in our nation's capital, Hollywood Hulk Hogan. He takes on Sting. Now, the promoters have done what they promised to do. They've opened up a few more tickets. Call the Ticketmaster nearest you. Call the number you're going to see on your screen, but make your plans right now. Join us in our nation's capital for Starrcade. Sting, Hogan. Now, let us talk, however, about Harlem Heat, a team that some say the greatest tag team of all time. What a great place to prove that point, Booker T, than to come into Starrcade.
You know, everywhere I go, there's so much talk, with the media. People asking me questions about Sting. Mm-hmm. People asking me about Hogan.
Yes.
People asking me about the world heavyweight strap. Well, let me tell you I don't know about that. But what I do know about is Booker T, the big gun Stevie Ray, and Jackie right here coming at you through your television screen. And what we want to talk about is the tag team belts. And somebody, we got an open door policy. So if anybody man enough to step up to the plate and put their name on the dotted line, we want to be at Starrcade. We don't care if it's Louis Piccoli and Joey Max. We don't care. But we're here to prove a point that we are the best tag team in professional wrestling. Like I said all the time, get some, want some, but you better be big enough and bad enough to take some.
Stevie, I think that point's already been proven. You are the greatest of all time. Why worry about winning for an
As far
eighth
as
time?
we're concerned, we are the greatest tag team to ever step in the squared circle. BT Express, Big Gun. And brother, if you don't know what this brings to the table, you're too old for me to tell you. But when we get to Washington, D.C., Starrcade, I don't care if it's Sting, I don't care what Hogan, I don't care what them suckers doing. You better start thinking about what Harlem Heat wants to do. And that's go right back to the top and get that belt for the 8th time. Tag team champion. 3 the hard way, baby.
Starrcade, the countdown, the time draws near to the biggest event in pro wrestling history. Sting and Hollywood Hogan. We all want Sting to become world champ, but I really think more than that. We want to see Sting stand up for WCW, not only pin Hogan's shoulders to the mat, but drive Hogan down to where when you leave the match, when you leave the arena that night, when you turn off your television set and you finish watching Starrcade, there is no doubt, beyond a shadow of a doubt, no doubt in your mind who the better man was. It's got to be it's got to be a complete, overwhelming win for Sting.
I think you're right about that. And I think in the people's mind and Sting's mind, and they know that Sting is a superior. I think there's only one person that knows that better than we do, and that's Hogan. Or he wouldn't have done what he's done to Sting for a year and a half. Hogan is terrified of the popularity of this man and the skills of this man and what this man can do in the ring.
Don't forget this, Brain. Hogan has lost 3 times to Roddy Piper.
In a row.
In a row. But each time in a non-title situation, he has walked away with the belt. That belt is given Hogan bragging rights, enabling Hogan to lie in the face of losing. Sting wins the belt, he drives Hogan down, he'll end all that.
Well, not only that, this is for the title. This is the big one. And he's going to become ready. Hogan will be ready for this one because he knows everything's on the line here. His career, his popularity, NWO, it is all on the line here. This is the biggest match for Hulk Hogan. This is the biggest match for the NWO. It's the biggest match in wrestling history.
Brain, let me jump in here and tell our fans how they can actually become part of this wrestling history, part of Starrcade, part of Hulk Hogan and Sting. Sunday, December 28th is the date. You already know that. It's the MCI Center in Washington, D.C. You already know that. Now, to get a ticket, get a hold of a Ticketmaster or call this number, 202-432-SEAT. That's 432-SEAT. Get your tickets and be part of history. Be a part of Starrcade.
Whoa! So much for his entrance into the ring. It's a good team, High Voltage.
Yeah, they are. They're young. They're very powerful. Have a lot of desire, determination.
And the one on the floor there is half nuts. So that's good.
Nothing wrong with that.
I guess if you're half nuts, you're nuts, right?
Yeah, you either are or you aren't.
Yeah,
that's
simple.
right. Submission hold here. This is Rage. Chaos on the outside against the Southern Posse. And, you know, I really think this young duo has kind of been looked over by WCW's Championship Committee when you talk about getting tag team title shots. A lot of the tag team title shots. Oh, by the way, the Steiners are the tag team champs, not the Outsiders.
They
have these bogus belts.
That's right, they have belts. That's like having a Mr. T starter kit. You put a lot of jewelry around your neck doesn't mean you're Mr. T or Mr. P or B.
Nevertheless, the Steiners are the champs. Certainly Taylor and Regal get title shots. Harlem Heat, they get title shots. Ming and the Barbarian, Mortis, and Wrath, Glacier. Of course, before he and Ernest Miller had a split, they were a great tag team. But the fact is that this young team has been overlooked and certainly due at least a chance to go after the World Tag Team title. They've had problems with Public Enemy. They defeated Public Enemy. but they need to get a title shot, I think.
Well, whoever their business manager is, agent or attorneys, aren't doing the proper job. They may need a manager. They may need someone just to go into that office and say the right things for them. You know, you can't cut your own hair. No one can talk for you like a manager. No one can talk about your good points and bad points like a well-paid mouthpiece. You know that.
Yeah, I'm looking at one right now. Are you offering your services?
Oh, no. No, not at all. But that's what they need. Oh! See, they're so young in this sport. They don't know all the channels. They don't know all the highways and byways and how to get around things. There's a lot of politics involved, especially here at WCW, because everyone here is geared in one direction, and that's to get rid of the NWO. So you can get lost in the shuffle real quick.
One in, one out of Southern Posse here. That's Sonny Trout up on top, and here they go. Flying body attack, double team maneuver. Had a chance to make a pin, wouldn't even make it there. And now he did. And hit him across the face to boot.
Well, I think it's time to mount Mr. Trout and put him on the wall.
High Voltage gets the win. Yeah, Worldwide Wrestling. That was a decisive win for this young team.
And he let him know at the end. He gave him a couple of whacks in the yap there just to let him know that you were in the ring with High Voltage.
Back with Greg the Hammer Valentine and more on Worldwide after this timeout. Worldwide Wrestling continues as we are in the month of December. What a big Christmas present that would be. Telling your wrestling fan and your family that he or she will enjoy Starrcade 3 days later on December 28th. Not only enjoying Starrcade, but enjoying the biggest match ever in our sport.
And when all you kids are putting out your Santa's wish list and put down on there, Starrcade, December 28th, that's what I want. You want to surprise the little rugrat? Put him under a tree in a box. Have him open up this big box, all his paper in it. Let him find that they're going to be able to watch Starrcade pay-per-view.
Sting and Hogan will go at it in the biggest matchup in our sport, the most anticipated matchup in our sport, the most talked about. And you can only wonder, you know, we don't know where Sting's coming from. We have not talked to Sting. He will not talk to us. So we don't know what's going through his mind, although you can see from what has happened over the past few months exactly what he wants. But the fact that between now and then Sting needs to stay away from the NWO because they will attempt to put him out before they even get to the nation's capital. Here is Greg Valentine and Dave Heath in this matchup, Brian.
Well, you're right about that. They're not going to send, they don't want to send a message to Sting like get out of town.
No.
Or anything like that. They'll break something. They'll tear something. They'll rip something. They'll fix it so that man won't be able to compete. That's exactly what they want to do.
You're right. The intimidation factor, sending a message to Sting, is not their MO here because they realize, as wrestling fans worldwide realize, that Sting right now is afraid of no one, especially Hogan, especially the NWO. I think Sting needs to come to the ring with his ball bat.
One in each hand.
One in each hand. Actually, I've got some better strategy. Sting needs to find Hogan in the dressing room in Washington, D.C. before the match, hit him in the back of the head with a bat. Oh, no?
No. He wouldn't win the title.
No,
They'd take Hogan to the hospital.
No, just make him groggy.
Nah. I think Sting wants to beat him when Hogan is 100%. Beat him when he comes down that aisle, strumming the belt like a guitar, spray painted NWO all over it, all his black and white, and all his goons hanging around. Sting wants to do it right there when he's 100%. He don't want any excuses.
Dave Heath, young man here, showing that he is up to the task against the great veterans and Greg the Hammer Valentine, and Heath doing a great job, high-impact blows here.
But you're not going to pound on Valentine and beat him. You're going to have to pin the man. He won't submit. He's like a savage. He's just a real tough veteran and a customer that knows what to do in that ring. So you can pound on him all day, but you're not going to beat him that way.
Fans are chanting Hammer's name. How about that?
Hammer.
Trying to to get Greg Valentine to mount a comeback here, and here he comes. Greg Valentine rises right up out of the ashes from the chance of the fans. The back elbow puts Heath down.
I'm not really sure where he's at right now.
Oh boy, that elbow, that brainbuster elbow of the Hammers. Quite a maneuver.
Someone's going for a ride.
Deep underhook by Valentine. Picks him up. Over the top he goes. Here comes the big elbow. Perfectly executed, that elbow drop. And now the big one.
Oh! That'll jam your neck right into your back. About 3 inches shorter right now.
Greg the Hammer Valentine gets the win here on WCW Worldwide Wrestling. Fans, when we come back, we're going to have our main event tag team. Ming and the Barbarian will face Vianos 4 and 5. Stay with us on WCW Worldwide Wrestling. We have come to our feature bout, and we've come to a time where we're going to find out exactly what this Viano team is made of, and I say that because you know as well as I do, Brain, they're brothers. They dress exactly alike. They can use the little switcheroo play to get a fresh man in, unbeknownst to the referee, but against Ming and the Barbarian, they got to face two of the meanest men ever.
And two of the, I would say, the toughest wrestlers in the world to hurt.
Can't hurt them.
Doesn't seem to.
All right, so.
And with Jimmy Hart.
Wow. Jimmy Hart's been quite a leader of wrestlers throughout the years, and
Someone's smoking a cigar around the corner there.
no, that's smoke for effect. You know what I'm saying? Jimmy Hart brings him out. Ming and the Barbarian.
It's good to be standing in the ring knowing in less than a couple of minutes you're going to have to fight those two men.
Strong in death grip time, says Jimmy Hart. Two of the most feared men the sport has ever seen. And they'll be going up in tag team. You know, and I've often said this, in the wars of the NWO against WCW, why in the world doesn't WCW go to Ming and the Barbarian and say, listen, we've had enough of this NWO. We want you to be our warriors. We want you to be our guerrillas in guerrilla warfare. Take them out. They can do it.
Sure, give them a couple of pieces of the fish on a stick. They're more than happy. They'll do anything for that.
I'm just saying that let's say in a street fight environment, in an environment where the rules are thrown out, these are the two men I want to have on my team. And that's the way it's been against the NWO. Throw the rules out.
Well, you're right about that, but you got to remember this. They're bad men. I mean, they're bad guys.
Yeah,
really bad. But they're two men. They can probably take on 4 or 5 guys, but you're not going to take on the whole NWO.
No.
The NWO don't have 210-pound guys, 215. They got some monsters. Look at the size of Nash and Hall and Norton and Hogan. I mean...
But you see, here's what I'm saying, and here's what I've been preaching for so long. As the Barbarian sends both Vianos down, you have to lower yourself to the NWO standards. Here's what I mean. Find out where Hall and Nash are. Find out when they're leaving the locker room area, going to their car after a match. Find out when maybe Hall is inside, okay, and Nash is on his way, okay? Then take a baseball bat, clip Nash in the knee, re-injure the knee, open the trunk to his car, stuff him in, stuff an apple in his mouth, close it, put a sign for Scott Hall on there, say, look in the trunk. Hall opens the trunk, hit him on the back of the head with a baseball bat, tie him up with some nylon rope, and stuff him in. And then leave him in there for a couple of days. That's how you got to approach the NWO.
Tony, you're a terrorist.
No, I'm just saying that's the way you got to get things done here.
You're wrong. You're 100% wrong.
And then they never know what hit them.
You know why?
Why?
You need a big trunk to put all the NWO in. Stuff them all in the trunk. You get two guys maybe in the trunk. Maybe you get Nash in the trunk. Maybe. You're not going to get it shut. You need a big trunk. Matter of fact, maybe a dumpster. Yeah, a dumpster. Yeah. And then in the morning when the trash man comes, picks them up, dumps them in the back of the big rig, takes them off to some landfill. You've got an idea there, Schiavone. You're not as dumb as you look.
Well, thank you. Hey, what do you mean?
That'll work. That'll work.
A headbutt by Ming. And I tell you what, you need to do that to them, to everyone, the night before Stargate, then dump them out on the street right in front of a poster that says Sting is the new world champ, the MCI Center. So there.
Well, I like this idea.
I tell you, it's war, and WCW has approached it the wrong way.
Well, it's not pretty, but it has to be done. Can you imagine all of them in the dumpster? Hogan's looking around, can't find a soul.
Yes, I can.
Would he be scared? Would he be terrified? Would you see the sweat on that man's brow? Oh! Look at that. Such a sheer raw power.
Takedown that time by Viano number 5.
You're not really hurting the Barbarian. He's just trying to figure out a way to get up.
Did a pretty darn good job that time. You can pull some groin muscles right there. And how about that? He's set on the back of the neck. Using all of his weight on the back of the neck of the Barbarian. And he goes. Drop kick. That was on the knee, right above the knee. The exchange, and the Viano's brain looking pretty good here.
They sure are.
Oh, Ming has seen enough. And that one Viano, that stopped him right in his tracks. Look at it, he's perched up there. He's I don't know.
He's waiting for something to happen. He's waiting for you to turn your head. He's waiting for a guy just not to look his way. He waited too long.
He thought that he could get Ming, but he could not. Ming got him with a Tongan death grip, and that one's over.
He came right up that top rope and dove right into that Tongan death grip. There's no way out of that. He waited a little too long. He was waiting for Ming, I think, to turn his back so he could nail him from behind with a clothesline or one of those spiked drop kicks. But it didn't work. This is one big, bad, tough team right here.
I told you that's
You understand what they're saying?
Oh, I speak Tonganese fluently.
You do? What were they saying?
I gotta do this for a minute. Hold on, Tony. It's about that top rope. Barbarian catches him in a big power slam. Brothers perched up on top, just waiting for Barbarian to turn his head so he can nail him from behind. But he tags. Now he's gonna make the leap. Sorry. A little bit too late. Look at the face on Ming. Look at this warrior. Look at this tough guy. I wouldn't want to fight him. Your winner, Barbarian and Ming.
For the brain, Bobby, here and Tony Schiavone have a great week. You don't know what they said. You don't speak Tonganese.
He said,
you're out of time. Hi, everyone. WCW Worldwide Wrestling is on the air. Tony Schiavone, Bobby the Brain Heenan, and Brain 2 weeks away now from the biggest event in the history of professional wrestling, Starrcade 97.
The event that everyone predicts will change the face of professional wrestling. Most of you people knew what wrestling was like in the 50s on television, the 60s, how it changed into the 70s and 80s. And now the 90s, well, you're in for a treat. You like professional wrestling, you like WCW, it's going to change. It's going to change with the match Hogan versus Sting, MCI Center, DC, nation's capital. Eric Bischoff one-on-one with the living legend Larry Zbyszko, and it can only get better.
Disco Inferno will begin things in this 1-hour edition of Worldwide Wrestling, and you're right, Brain. Eric Bischoff and Larry Zbyszko, it is a reality. And of course, the two will meet with Nitro on the line. If Bischoff wins, the NWO will get Monday Nitro.
You know, since pay-per-view has been having wrestling on television over the years, I think I've just about broadcast every pay-per-view in professional wrestling, been on every one, but I've never looked forward to a one like this for the simple reason, Tony, we are going to be part of history. You realize this is the big one. This is the one they've all waited for. If Marciano could knock out Clay, Liston could knock out Muhammad Ali, Frazier You know, all those great fights they talked about. Bears, Green Bay, you know, all those great matchups. Nothing like this, though.
Nothing like this one-on-one matchup you're going to see on Sunday, December 28th in 2 weeks. In the opening bout here, Disco Inferno and Alex Porteau. We have a great program. Glacier will be here against Mortis one-on-one. Bill Goldberg will be with us. Chris Adams joins us on Worldwide. A lot of major stars in our sport, as everyone, fans, front office personnel, wrestlers alike, looking forward to December 28th. It is in a mere 2 weeks. Here's the Disco Inferno brain, former television champion.
Well, this man's got a lot going for him, Tony. Only trouble he has is he worries an awful lot about his appearance. Now, if you want to be a professional wrestler as handsome as I am, I've been scarred and marked up a bit. I mean, those are just part of it happens. I mean, people lose their fingers at work. People get their clothes dirty digging ditches. Things happen. There's occupational hazards. Getting your hair messed up in wrestling's one of them, and he better learn to cope with it.
And I think he's really adapted to it. He went on to win the TV belt. Of course, everyone now thinks about what happened to Disco Inferno and Jacqueline in the match they had where he lost to Jacqueline, but he was really in a no-win situation there. It's very tough to go against a woman because what can you do?
And especially Jacqueline, because she can beat your butt.
And that's exactly what she did. So the Disco Inferno, who garnered some respect becoming the TV champ, now trying to gain that back in the wake of the Jacqueline match here against Alex Porteau. Here he goes. It's the ropes. Ducks. And a knee to the midsection.
But you got to say one thing about Disco. At least, you know, most guys would have said, hey, it's a woman. Forget it. Or some guys may have gone out there and even put their hands on a woman, which is totally unnecessary to ever do. But at least he tried. The guy tried to wrestle. He just, like you said, he was at a handicap. Plus, she's tougher than him.
She's one of the toughest. Alex Porteau now sending Disco in. And a back elbow.
Porteau's going to get better down the road. A few more years of experience, a few matches under his belt.
He's a powerful guy, and we have seen him before on this program.
Just some of that long growth, put it on his hair, have a nice head of hair in about 3 years.
Hair has nothing to do with it. You were just talking about that.
Yeah, I wanted to see if you were listening.
Thank you, Brain. And now, the sleeper hold applied by Disco. Oh! And Alex Porteau sends him down.
Touch him any place, cover him. You got the win. Put your hand on his chest, his shoulder, any place.
Porteau back to the attack again, a knee to the midsection, and a forearm shot. I know that Porteau realizes that Disco Inferno has lost his share of matches, and this is a big opportunity for Alex Porteau here to get a win on Worldwide in the opening bout, where we are seeing literally Worldwide. Into the ropes.
Take advantage of him now, Mr. Porteau. You got him.
Now, right now, he's really slowing down his pace. He's being more deliberate, and I'm not so sure if that's maybe being indecisive or inexperienced or what.
I know what he's doing. You know why he went to that maneuver right there? He's getting his air back. He slowed down a bit. They went at it pretty good there for the last couple minutes. That's what he's doing right now. This is working against the back muscles there on Disco. It's not doing him any good, but Porteau's got himself a little breathing time here.
Sends the Disco Inferno into the midsection. Up and...
Oh!
Face first. Cover.
No, I wouldn't have done that. I'd have suplexed him over because he had just worked on the man's back. Had already been weakened. Uh-oh.
There it is, the chart buster.
Another big hit for Disco.
So the Disco Inferno thwarts off Alex Porteau in the opening bout here, and I tell you, the Disco Inferno, I really think deserves another chance becoming the television champion. Saturn, of course, of Ravens Flock is the TV champ, but I think given the right circumstance, Disco Inferno would win.
This is Bobby the Brain Heenan here on WDISTO Radio. I'm going to take the 25th caller in and tell me if you can identify the move, the man that just won this match. There's the man shaking his booty right there. Got my finger on the trigger of the stacks of wax, the hottest 45s in town. Yes, it's What?
What are you doing?
I'm making Disco feel at home. He loves radio. He loves music. He loves to have a good time. Get a load of this. The opponent charges in, gets about 2 feet to the face right there. Shoots Disco in. Disco goes behind him, as you can see. He doesn't know where he's at. Chartbuster time. Boom, make it or break it. Time to get to the top 10. There's your winner, Disco Inferno. Now get up and show me how to dance. Show the world just how good you are. Get down.
Fans still to come here on Worldwide Wrestling. You'll see Alex Wright one-on-one against the total package Lex Luger. But Brain, December 28th, not only the biggest day for WCW, the biggest day for pro wrestling. Sting and Hollywood Hulk Hogan for the world title at Starrcade 97.
I don't know about you, Mr. Schiavone, but I'm going to call everybody and wish them a Merry Christmas. This is probably the happiest time in my career. Think about this. We are going to be broadcasting wrestling history. Wrestling history will change. The face of wrestling will change after this match. Right here in the nation's capital. Right here, $200 million MCI Center. A couple blocks from the White House. Hogan, Sting, match of a lifetime. Don't you feel the excitement here at Christmas time? I love it. I love it. Good luck, Sting.
I think we're all very excited. We'll be back on Worldwide right after this.
Well, everybody, Stagger Lee Marshall here, and everybody talking about how to get tickets to Starrcade. Well, it's going to be at the MCI Center in our nation's capital Sunday, December 28th at 6:30. What you do is you call the number you're going to see on your screen or contact a Ticketmaster outlet near you anywhere in North America, and they'll take care of you for Starrcade. It's going to be Hollywood Hulk Hogan. It's going to be Sting. It's going to be the day history changes in professional wrestling. By the way, I have an opportunity to bring in a man that, well, nobody's really heard a lot from. It's Glacier, and this is really a great opportunity for you, Glacier.
Thank you, Mr.
A chance
Marshall.
to set the record straight, let people know where you really stand.
Oh, well, before we get into that, let me just say, once again, wow, you look great.
Well, thanks. Thanks very much for noticing.
Oh, sure, my pleasure. As far as what you were talking about, as far as Ernest and I having a little friction, we'll get to that later. It's no big deal. Right now, let's look at Starrcade coming to Washington, D.C., the home of our president, Mr. Bill Clinton.
Yep, the cradle of democracy.
Oh, what a role model.
I mean, speaking of role models, it's interesting you bring that up. I see fans in the WCW offices. This man gets more letters from kids. You really are quite a role model, and that's a big responsibility.
And one I do not take lightly, Mr. Marshall. I mean, I have little kids, big kids, all kinds. But, it's good to be a role model. I enjoy being a role model. And, doing charity, things that like Mr. Jerry Lewis does, stuff like that. Oh, it's so good. I mean, it makes you feel, just kind of gets you right there, you know?
It does.
And, oh, gosh, it just makes you feel so good that I want to go run. Got to take a train to Washington. Go up there, do a little charity there before Starrcade. Something that I'm sure I'm not going to miss. I wouldn't miss it for the world. God, it's going to be so good.
You're going to go do charity right now? Right now? Well, I guess there's no time like the present to do charity work. No time like right now as well to make your plans to join us for Starrcade. Get your tickets, but act very, very quickly. And if you can't join us in person, then please make plans to join us on pay-per-view. It's Starrcade, December 28th.
Starrcade is the event the world awaits, and you can be a part of it by making an all-important telephone call right now. Your local cable operator, or call DirecTV and pick up direct tickets. Available on the Dish Network. Satellite dish owners, you can contact Turner Premier, Silver King in La Parca from Mexico. And La Parca, of course, wielding that chair, Bobby the Brain.
Sure, you can talk about him carrying that chair, but you didn't give him any praise for his great dancing ability.
That's because he cannot dance.
Dancing is in the eye of the dancer, I guess.
Apparently it is right there.
But he can wield a pretty mean chair.
One of the best and one of the most feared. And speaking of being able to wield furniture, our next duo making their way out, former World Tag Team Champs, known for the table.
When they bring it to the table, it's not an offer, it's usually a body.
They literally bring it to the table.
Bring it through the table. He
McEnemy, and you know what's amazing about the table that they bring out? WCW has really relaxed the rules and allowing Johnny Grunge and Rocco Rock to use the table in their matches. But the table has probably backfired on them as much as it's helped them, if you think about it.
Well, of course, you can throw 10 opponents through a table. That don't hurt you. You go through a table once, you got to worry about yourself. I mean, you don't heal from that. That hurts them a lot. Then their next time they get in the ring for a match, they're hurting. So it'll come back to bite you right on the gourmet side of the table.
Yes, it sure will. And here we go for tag team action on WCW Worldwide. Do not forget, it's going to be a great matchup later on. Alex Wright and the total package Lex Luger in our feature bout here on Worldwide Wrestling.
Bill Goldberg's here. He impresses me.
Bill Goldberg has impressed everyone. Here we go. LaPark and Silver King looking, Brain, to get a quick start in this matchup.
Well, both these teams know each other.
You know, Brain, one thing I want to bring up,
Chair.
The chair already.
Have a seat, Rocco.
Rocco Rock has been stunned.
Have one in the front row.
LaParca hits the chair. How about that, Brain?
How about that?
How about this? How about a single event that will most literally change the course of professional wrestling? How about joining us for Starrcade in Washington at the brand new MCI Center? You've seen it. You're going to hear this telephone number. I encourage you to call it. It's 202-432-SEAT. 432-SEAT. It's Lee Marshall inviting you to join us for one of the most historic events ever in the professional wrestling annals. It's Starrcade, December 28th.
You know, Tony LaPark is trying his best here in the corner, but sometimes, look at it. Oh, because I wonder if that match is a hindrance, if you can see out of her, you wonder. There's a man who just lost it. His IQ right now is probably at his highest, around 9. Peg the bright one, who's an 11.
Now, regardless of what you may infer about their IQ, you can't deny their effectiveness. Silver King putting down hard. Rocco Rock looks to make an exchange, but no. Silver King hooks on. Brain, the fact that Sting and Hogan will finally wrestle. But let's also make mention of the fact that over the past few weeks on Monday Nitro and on all of our events on WCW Saturday night on our syndicated events, we have not seen Sting. Where has he been? The fact that the NWO feels that they have taken him out, that they've destroyed him.
Well, he's a man of darkness now. He doesn't want anybody to know his business, especially the NWO. He doesn't trust anybody. When the members of WCW thought Sting had gone NWO, and some of the fans even thought that broke this man's heart. And I didn't realize it, Tony. A lot of people like the fans. A lot of people like to sign autographs and pat the kids on the head and stuff and do charity work. Which is all fine and good if you're that kind of a person and enjoy that. Nothing wrong with it. Sting enjoys it. He enjoys the people. He enjoys the kids. And when Hogan tried to turn his world against him, just because the fans didn't like Hogan and they liked Sting, he was going to destroy this man's career, his livelihood, his family. This man now does not trust the soul, and that's the sad thing when you don't trust people. I don't trust a lot of people. I believe Sting doesn't trust anyone. And I really don't know what's going through his mind. His best friend, Lex Luger, says he doesn't know. Now, whether Luger's keeping his mouth shut for the guy or not, I don't know. I believe Luger don't know. I don't believe anybody knows what's going on in Sting's mind except Sting. And that's the way he wants to keep it. Because doing that, he's keeping Hogan off track.
Well, hopefully you're right. Hopefully the fact that he is not injured to a point to where he cannot compete, I don't think that would stop Sting, but then again, you never know what the NWO has up its sleeve. In the interim here, we have quite a physical tag team match, and a tag is made, and here comes Rocco Rock.
I'll tell you, Tony, if his name is on that contract, and he's too injured to compete, there isn't that kind of an injury. Hogan's name's on the contract. His name's on the contract. If he's got to crawl from Walter Reed Memorial Hospital down Pennsylvania Avenue to the MCI Arena Center, he will be there. He wants to get his paws on Hogan. If he's got one arm, he'll get the one arm on Hogan. If he's got one leg, he'll kick him with the one he's got.
There's their move, Brain, and
Well, you hit by the furniture, you can get beaten by the furniture.
LaParca holding the chair, get it up again. Oh, boy.
Have a seat.
Down he goes hard. Johnny Grunge will make a cover. Is he even a legal man here?
Does it matter? I don't think anybody on that team is legal.
Silver King, who is out, unfortunately for him, has ended up on the table. Look at this.
Don't lay there, or you'll be a spot on the tablecloth. Everybody likes to party with Public Enemy. Rocco Rock going up into the people. Oh, I'd love to have him bring to my house and start dancing.
We welcome you back to Worldwide Wrestling, and Brain, we're going to have quite a matchup here. Two men, two warriors who know and despise each other quite well, I would say. And that's Mortis and Glacier.
How would you like these two to greet you at a door to a castle? Your room is ready, sir. Walk this way. Here's your own candle. Pardon the hump on my back. Not me. I'm checking out. I'll sleep in the car.
One of the most bizarre combatants ever to get in the ring is Mortis, but in the same breath, one of the most successful and one of the most feared. He has so many ways he can defeat you. He knows karate, he knows judo, but he also has a very unorthodox style that he developed overseas, and he's taken that now to combine it with some wrestling style, and it's made him a feared competitor.
And I would say, I hear his face has been damaged. I don't know if it's been burnt or if he's been in an accident or what has really happened, but you can just tell by his body. I would say he's in his mid-20s, wouldn't you? I wouldn't think he's over 30 years of age, and he's a young, aggressive, very, very tough man.
And of course, the man making his way to the ring knows him all too well. Glacier.
Not Hannibal Lecter in the muzzle.
No, it's not, but you know, it's a very uneasy time for Glacier right now, because at one time he had a friend in Ernest Miller, and I'm not so sure that you can say that anymore. They've had their problems.
You know, that's the trouble in this sport. It's always been the trouble. You shouldn't make friends. You never know when you have to wrestle the guy. You never know when that guy's going to have an ego trip or one sure slot. That guy wants to make the money you're making. He wants the main event. He wants the championship matches. He feels slighted. Your tag team partner, I'm in the ring too much. You don't tag me in enough. I want to showcase my abilities. Always something. Stay by yourself. Mind your own business. That's the best advice I can give anybody. Your friend turned on you. He never was your friend. Tough luck, pal.
Glacier was undefeated in WCW, and really, if you talk to him, he feels that when Ernest Miller arrived, that undefeated streak ended, and, well, that's a point. I'm not so sure if it's a good one, but as James Vandenberg got the attention of Glacier, here comes Mortis, and it's on already, Brain.
Well, you see, that's people's egos kicking in. He heard this from this guy, and this guy said something, and he's read this in the magazines, and he heard this through somebody else, and, you know, that's what happens. Mortis can't worry about that, though. Vandenberg has him ready. He's just going to have to take to this man and not let this man have his way with you like Glacier has with so many of his opponents.
What a move that was.
Well, he flattened his face right into that canvas.
Cover, and Mortis quickly tried to end this match, but Glacier kicks away.
See, now it looks to me like Glacier got up and was reaching for a tag. Maybe he's used to being in tag team matches. You have to adapt here at WCW. Sometimes you can be in a tag match. Sometimes you can be in a battle royal. You never know what happens here.
Good reversal that time. Oh, and a round kick. 1, 2.
Doesn't get him.
To the midsection again. Here comes Mortis one more time. Snap marrying him over. Mortis right now has had the upper hand.
He has the whole match.
He sure has. Glacier is trying to...
Oh,
a variety of moves, and we're seeing some brand new moves from Mortis. Hitting combination here. No, he got it too.
No doubt about the man's ability. I mean, what a tag team him and Wrath are, you know, with Vandenberg in the corner. There's so many great tag teams here and singles competition.
You know, they had a little miscommunication recently on Nitro where Mortis wrapped a chain around his foot and inadvertently kicked Wrath and caused Wrath to lose. to Hugh Morris. Well, as the foot gets up, it connects on Mortis. I haven't heard about any problems between Rath and Mortis. But you know, that can continue. The cryonic kick. He kicked James Vandenberg right in the face. And now Mortis, 1, 2.
No! And that's the closest I've seen anybody get Glacier in a long time.
And Vandenberg, as you can see, still out on the floor here.
He's not sleeping on the job. He's out.
Oh, the cryonic kick.
So is Mortis, maybe.
He is out. It's
He is. There's your winner.
I tell you, Glacier takes out Vandenberg and takes out Mortis as well.
Well, that was a good move because I think he had to take out Vandenberg first. That's what I would have done. I would have gotten rid of him. That threw Mortis' whole game plan off there. He saw where Vandenberg was face down on the floor. He said, now wait a minute. This guy's been relaying messages to me. He's been giving me signals into the ring, where my opponent's at, where I should move. Now, there's no one to talk to, no one to see. I'm on my own. That's the tide turned right there. Glacier took advantage.
All right, we're going to take you now to our Castrol Torture Test of the Week. And following that, we're going to take you to footage from Nitro. But with our Torture Test of the Week, a man who puts me through a lot of torture each week himself, Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Well, thank you very much, Tony. I don't mind tightening the screws on you at all. Kick right to the chop by Glacier to Mortis. Mortis comes off that top rope, but there's a big foot waiting for him. Big foot. Another big foot. Referee in position for the 1, 2, 3 count. There's your winner, Glacier.
Castrol GTX motor oil that stands up to the most torturous conditions. It was a wild night recently on Nitro, including Raven's flock attacking Chris Benoit.
Well, hi, everybody. Lee Marshall here, and the word on everybody's lips, no matter where we go, has to do with Starrcade. Sunday, December 28th at that brand new MCI Center in our nation's capital, Hollywood Hulk Hogan. He takes on Sting. Now, the promoters have done what they promised to do. They've opened up a few more tickets. Call the Ticketmaster nearest you. Call the number you're going to see on your screen, but make your plans right now. Join us in our nation's capital for Starrcade. Sting, Hogan. Now, let us talk, however, about Harlem Heat, a team that some say the greatest tag team of all time. What a great place to prove that point, Booker T, than to come into Starrcade.
You know, everywhere I go, you know, there's so much talk, you know, with the media. You know, people asking me questions about Sting. You know, people asking me about Hogan.
Yeah.
You know, people asking me about the world heavyweight strap. Well, let me tell you about it. I don't know about that. But what I do know about is Booker T, the big gun Stevie Ray, and Jackie right here coming at you through your television screen. And what we want to talk about is the tag team belts. And we got an open door policy. So if anybody man enough to step up to the plate and put their name on the dotted line, we want to be at Starrcade. We don't care if it's Louis Piccoli and Joey Max. We don't care. But we're here to prove a point that we are the best tag team in professional wrestling. Like I said all the time, get some, want some, but you better be big enough and bad enough to take some.
Stevie, I think that point's already been proven. You are the greatest of all time. Why worry about winning for an
As
eighth
far as
time?
we're concerned, we are the greatest tag team to ever step in the squared circle. BT Express, Big Gun. And brother, if you don't know what this brings to the table, you're too old for me to tell you. But when we get to Washington, D.C., Starrcade, I don't care if it's Sting, I don't care what Hogan, I don't care what them suckers doing. You better start thinking about what Harlem Heat wants to do. And that's go right back to the top and get that belt for the 8th time. Tag team champion. 3 the hard way, baby.
Starrcade is the event, fans, that you want to be a part of. Not only Sting and Hollywood Hogan, as one of the most feared men makes his way to the ring in a long time, Bill Goldberg, but not only Sting and Hollywood Hogan, Eric Bischoff and Larry Zbyszko. And Zbyszko, much like Sting, not the same way because it's not a world title match, but much like Sting, has the weight of WCW on his shoulders, Brain, because he has Nitro riding on this match against Eric Bischoff.
Well, I know Larry Zbyszko from way back, and he's always liked the challenge. You know, when he wrestled at Penn State, the man was a champion. I was at Shea Stadium when he wrestled Bruno Sammartino and out-wrestled the man to become the living legend, retired the man. I've seen him retire a lot of people. I saw him become AWA champion in the defunct Old American Wrestling Association. The man is a MAC veteran. He's a wrestler. He's a man's man. Bischoff, he's 220, 30 pounds. I don't see where Eric's got any problem with Larry Zbyszko. Do you? I mean, I think it would be kind of an easy night for Eric.
You know what's easy? Easy is picking up your telephone right now and dialing 202-432-SEAT. That's 432-SEAT. Hi, everybody. Stagger Lee Marshall reminding you about Starrcade. I mean, it is the most historic event in the history of professional wrestling. We'd love for you to be there at the brand new MCI Center in Washington. Call that number, 202-432-SEAT. Be a part of history. Join us in the nation's capital for Starrcade on the 28th.
You know, maybe you should have a big spaghetti dinner over Little Italy.
Eric Bischoff, yeah.
Sure, half a loaf of garlic bread, some cannolis, half a gallon of Chianti. I mean, live it up.
Eric,
no problem.
If you're listening, we think that you can beat him with one hand tied behind your back.
And stay up all night.
That's right. Do it, Eric.
Watch the late show.
Prove to the world what kind of man you are.
Yeah.
Prove to the world that you didn't learn karate by mailing in the back of a matchbook. Prove to the world that you can wrestle Larry Zbyszko. Because, hey, Larry's just a few years older than Eric. Eric will wear him out, won't he?
Oh, he'll have Zbyszko's tongue hang out. He looks like a cash register.
Yeah, boy. Here's the jackhammer from Bill Goldberg. What a move that is.
Matter of fact,
1, 2, 3, it's over.
It's over. Tell all your guests and family members, Eric, stay at home. You won't be gone that long. There's a man determined.
Boy, you're not kidding. Bill Goldberg, former collegiate football standout, now in the pro wrestling ranks. In a span of 4 months, has become one of the most feared and respected men in our sport, Brain.
And most talked about. You can tell. I got that dressing room savvy because I've been in this sport. I know how guys talk. I know what they think about what they say. They're talking about this man. I mean, all the wrestlers are. The wrestlers from the guys that have been in the sport a week, 2 weeks, a year, to the veterans that have been in it 15, 20 years. They like what they see. They like the look of this man. This man's going to be championship material someday. Someday very soon, if not already. Big, tough man with an attitude. Your winner, Bill Goldberg.
Bill Goldberg gets the win, and still to come, Lex Luger against Alex Wright, plus Chris Adams, and a whole lot more on Worldwide. Fans, we're back. This should be a great matchup. Tokyo Magnum, a young man that we have seen on this program before, in tag team action, singles competition, will face Chris Adams. Brain Sting and Hollywood Hogan. We have said it's the match of a lifetime, and this is a match that wrestling fans have wanted to see for longer than the 15 months that Sting has been missing in action, so to speak. Even back when Hollywood Hogan first arrived on the scene in WCW, we all wanted to see Hogan and Sting. By one means or another, Hogan avoided it. But now, in 1997, December 28th, he cannot avoid it any longer. He must go in the ring against Sting.
You're right about that. Even when he wrestled all over the world for different organizations all over the country, Hogan and Sting never met. Hogan didn't want it to happen. There's a reason. And, you know, Hogan's a big guy, too. Don't take that away from him. He's 6'8", 275. But he couldn't stand the fact that Sting had more popularity than him. And Sting always did. All the years, all the time going. More people like Sting than Hogan.
So now, it is definitely a fact. WCW versus the NWO, but Sting against Hogan. Those two names, Sting, Hogan, Hollywood Hogan, and Sting, will headline the biggest night in pro wrestling history. We're so proud to be bringing you this mega spectacular on Sunday night, December 28th, 2 weeks from this Sunday.
You know, like I said, history's going to be made. Even to begin with, history's being made because this is the first wrestling card in the history of the new building. It'll be number 1. There'll never be anything before it.
In the MCI Center, the venue that opened up earlier this month on December 2nd when the Washington Wizards defeated the Seattle Sonics. In the opening of that building, that was back on December 2nd. And now on the 28th, pro wrestling comes to the MCI Center, downtown Washington, D.C., by the way. And we'll be bringing you that event, Sting and Hogan. It'll be nothing that you've ever, like nothing you've ever experienced before in your life.
It's going to change. And Zbyszko, Eric Bischoff,
Fans in the weeks to come, next week we will have more matches to bring you on this spectacular card. It's more than just 2 matches, as you know, but certainly Sting and Hogan, when fans get to the arena that day, that's what they're going to be talking about. That's what we're talking about now.
Well, you just wait.
Drop kick.
Zabisco, when he gets in that ring, Eric is just going to throw him all over that place like a washboard.
Yeah, Eric have no problem.
No problem at all. Matter of fact, maybe Eric should wear one of those helmets with a camera in it, like the hockey players do, a race car driver, so you can see on the spot action of him getting his or him kicking Zabisco's tail. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd like to see a lot of those angles.
Wouldn't that be something?
Yes, it would. Chris Adams and Tokyo Magnum going out. Look at that.
Oh!
He hoisted him up very high with that power bomb. Adams, a great competitor. And, of course, Tokyo Magnum, a true young man in his formative years. Oh, boy, oh, boy.
Super kick time.
That's his patented move, and it won the match for Chris Adams.
That man can wrestle. He's been all over the world. He's held major titles all over the country. A lot of different countries.
Chris Adams gets the win. We still have our main event matchup to come here on Worldwide Wrestling. Right now, Brain, take a look at what went down earlier on in this matchup.
You're right, Tony. Next coming up is Lex Luger, but let's look at this. Tokyo Magnum here. Kind of lost his train of thought there. Mr. Adams took advantage and drove him as hard as he could into that mat. Super kick to the yap. Tokyo's not going anyplace. He's going to stay right there. Your winner, Chris Adams.
Chris Adams, your winner. Alex Wright, Lex Luger next. Come on back with us on Worldwide. This is going to be a great matchup. Alex Wright and Lex Luger in our feature bout. You know, you talk to Luger and you ask him about Sting. You mentioned this earlier. He's not heard from Sting. He's not sure how many injuries Sting suffered at the hands of the NWO about 4 weeks ago, when they pounded Sting unmercifully in the mat. But he believes that Sting, like you said earlier, will do anything it takes to get to the MCI Center in Starrcade in 2 weeks.
You know, and you're probably right. I don't think Sting is talking to Luger. I don't think Sting wants to put their friendship in jeopardy or put any added heat on him. I think Sting's going to take this all on his own. Sting's going to do what has to be done. And that's going to the heart of the NWO, and that's take it out. And that's Hulk Hogan. That's the championship around his waist. But it's not going to be an easy fight.
No, a very cocky, confident Alex Wright has made his way to the ring, and he must face the man who, when 1997 is all over with, in about 3 weeks from now, will have gone down to the record books as being a world champion. Lex Luger. You're not going to find a more successful year than Lex Luger had in 1997, Bray.
Well, just take a look at him. You've seen him rack just about everybody in this sport. He's had the giant up in the rack. He's had 200-pounders up in the rack. It doesn't matter to this man. He's just a total package. Best friends with Sting. Not real sure what's going through Sting's mind right now. But you know this man's going to be rooting for him. You know this man's going to want to see Sting go in there and not only defeat Hulk Hogan, but embarrass him in front of over 20,000 people at the MCI Arena and millions of households and 20, 30, I don't know how many millions of people all over the world. Starrcade. He wants to watch his friend Sting walk out of there the winner, just leave Hogan on that mat busted up.
The bell sounds and Luger in the ring against Alex Wright. Alex with a new attitude. Alex already realizes that he is at a disadvantage fan-wise when you're in the ring against Lex Luger.
Well, think about it if you're Alex Wright. Now, you're in the dressing room. You know you got to wrestle Lex Luger. So now you get into the ring. You know the man has more experience than you. You know the man been a world champion this year. I think he's been world champion now 3 times. He's held every major title in this sport. The man's bigger than you. He's stronger than you. He's in better condition than you. Sure, you may have a year or 2 on him in youth, but this man has the experience. Now you got to get in that ring, and it's got to click in your mind. What do I do with this man?
Oh boy!
I got to take him off his feet quick. I got to get an advantage on him quick. And one thing I better not do is dance.
He did take him down early, but he's starting to dance, and now Alex Wright with Luger down ahead of steam. He missed.
I think with Luger, you can't do anything flashy there. Right there.
He rocked him.
He's got him up. He's got him up in the torture rack.
In a matter of seconds, Luger has him in the rack.
And he's yelling, I've had enough.
How about that?
He's yelling, Hair Uncle, I give it up. Rings the bell.
Lex Luger wasted no time at all defeating Alex Wright in another chapter to the Luger legend written here. How many people have defeated Alex Wright in about 2 minutes?
That's right. Especially the new Alex Wright. Like I said, it's going to be something quick. You're not going to wear Luger down. As soon as I said that, Luger took advantage of the situation. That's what I said. The man's been there. He's been a world champion. He's held all the major titles. Took advantage right here of Alex Wright being a little too lazy or a little too short at one given time. Your winner, the total package, Lex Luger.
For Bobby the Brain Heenan, I'm Tony Schiavone. Make the call. Join us for Starrcade in 2 weeks, and we'll see you back here next week on Worldwide Wrestling. Welcome to WCW Worldwide Wrestling on this Starrcade weekend. Tony Schiavone along with Bobby the Brain Heenan. Brain, can you believe it? Christmas is over, but for us the holidays are beginning because this Sunday Sting and Hogan will finally collide.
Boy, I tell you, my back is killing me. I never unwrapped so many gifts in my life. I never got so many presents. I never was under a tree for so long digging. I had the best Christmas I've ever had. But it's not ready yet. My Christmas is not over yet. There's one more thing. That's when David Pinzer says, and the new heavyweight champion of the world, Sting.
That certainly could happen. And Sting will go into the biggest match of his career. And you know, as you see Psychosis to face Joey Maggs in this one-on-one matchup, for Sting, even though we have not heard from him, he's not talking. He is, very much expressionless. You know he's got to have butterflies because this is a match that has been years, a decade in the making.
Well, I disagree with you there. And I'll tell you why. If it was competition, one-on-one, you against me for the championship of this state, against anything like that competitiveness, yeah, you'd have the butterflies. But there's so much hatred running through the veins and the stomach and the heart of Sting. He's not going to get butterflies. All he's been thinking about is getting his hands on the man that tried to destroy his career and his fans and everything else in his life. I don't think the butterflies are going to be a factor here. I think Sting's going to get in there, and I think he's going to be up for this one like he's never been before.
You can be a part of all this excitement, all the excitement. Starrcade means pro wrestling, and this coming Sunday, the biggest night in the sport's long and illustrious history, will commence. That's this Sunday, December 28th at 7 o'clock Eastern Time in Washington, D.C. There's so much more, though, that we'll talk about. The Giant and Kevin Nash will roll up. The J makes a 2 count that time. Psychosis rolls Joey Maggs over. In addition, we now know Bret the Hitman Hart will be the special referee. Eric Bischoff and Larry Zbyszko.
And that could go anyway.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm not sure what's going on there yet.
And that added element of Bret Hart being the special referee makes that very intriguing as well. Makes it more than intriguing, makes it spectacular. Right now, though, Psychosis has come in and really hit Joey Maggs at just about everything here. Hasn't he, Brain?
You know, my mind was just rambling on here with the thought of who's Hogan going to turn to if he loses the WCW Championship? I mean, like you said a couple of weeks ago, without Raven, the flock is lost. Is the NWO like that without Hogan? Are they going to all just disband and wander down the streets like City of the Living Dead? I mean, what's going to happen with this?
Oh, and that's a good point. You said who will Hogan turn to if he loses the WCW title this Sunday, let me go one step further. Who will he blame
That's what I mean.
if he loses the title?
Oh, sure, he's not going to say, well, a better man beat me.
Well, of course
or
he's
he's
not.
not going to say, if it did happen, that his knee went out or something. Oh, he's never admitted he was wrong.
Fans will never forget the scene this past year when Luger became world champ. We had our cameras in the NWO locker room, and he blamed everybody but himself. He's one self-centered, egotistical guy who just happens to be one of the greatest wrestlers in the history of our sport. The world champion, Hollywood Hogan. Psychosis on the outside.
Hey, like him or not, you talk wrestling to anybody, they're going to mention Hulk Hogan.
First name they'll mention.
First name they'll mention.
Along with Sting. And that's why so much riding on the line.
Oh! You know, it's more than money. It's that ego thing with Hogan. And it's that emotional thing with Sting. So you can forget championships. Of course, if Sting wins that championship, that will destroy Hogan. But Hogan losing to Sting is worse than anything that could happen to him. I believe. You can always get a championship back. You can never get back that first loss to the man you've hated all your life. This is the big one.
Up on the top turnbuckle, Psychosis. One of the luchadors wearing his old mask once again. He's also donned a brand new one. The guillotine leg drop. Quick joy minutes down with a 1, 2, 3. And in the opening bout on this Starrcade weekend, the event this Sunday, Psychosis from Mexico pulls away a big victory here from Universal Studios Florida. Look at the fans. You can see it. You can feel it in the arena. The excitement of Starrcade.
The guy shaking a pair of Depends at me.
No, that's not. It's a pal.
Oh. I'll tell you what I've learned to watch here is how people adapt here at WCW. And you can tell just by watching Psychosis here. He's really adapted to WCW American style wrestling. And that's what's made him a winner. Here you see him coming off that top rope with that guillotine leg drop. Joey Maggs isn't going anywhere. And there's your winner from Mexico, Psychosis. I'm telling you, the man's adapted to our style very, very well.
Brain, can you believe how long we have waited for this weekend? Fans, this Sunday at Starrcade, Sting and Hollywood Hogan. In addition, Bret the Hitman Hart will be the special referee for Eric Bischoff and Larry Zbyszko, with so much on the line this Sunday in one mega event.
You know, Tony Schiavone in the world, when I managed and wrestled all over the world before I came to WCW, I thought about this match, Hogan, Sting, Sting, Hogan. All the wrestlers always talked about this was a match everyone wanted to see. Well, now the world's going to get to see this. Now, I got the feeling inside, sometimes you just know you're going to win on that big horse. You're going to win when you throw those dice. I got that feeling right now. I'm going to be part of history. I'm going to be broadcasting Starrcade, and I think we're going to see a new heavyweight champion of the world.
I certainly hope so, fans. We'll have more on Worldwide Wrestling after this timeout. Starrcade is the event. This is the weekend. Sting Hogan, the match. You will be a part of it, fans. I know many of the fans watching this program have already made the phone call to order Starrcade. If you have cable, and of course, most everyone does now.
You know, and if you forgot to get a relative or a friend or a neighbor a gift, and last minute it occurs to you, what should I get him? That's it.
Who would forget to give one of their close relatives a gift besides you? Did you get gifts this year for Christmas for your friends and family?
Did I get gifts? Yes, I got a lot of gifts.
No, did you give gifts to your family and friends?
Well, I could never top what they got me, so I didn't want to embarrass them.
So the answer's no, right?
Merry Christmas, Schiavone!
Here comes the World Television Champ, and Brain has a disco.
And I even drank the glass of milk they left out.
That was for Santa Claus.
Well, I gave him half the cookie.
Here comes the World Television Champ, and Brain, I know you would agree with me. The Disco Inferno of the past couple of weeks has really picked up the intensity, and I think we can safely say not only is he a champion, but he has become a pretty darn good wrestler as well.
Well, he's always had the ability. I said that. He's got the physique. He's got the charisma. He's got the, how do you say it, attitude. But he's just got to know when to use them all and put it together. He still has a period where he drifts back into the old disco where he starts fixing his hair and combing his hair. Forget the hair. On these days, it won't be there. So you don't need your hair.
They love him nothing.
Yes.
A look at our great fans as we come to you from Universal Studios, Florida, Worldwide Wrestling. Disco Inferno and Steve Armstrong in this one-on-one matchup. Still to come in this program, we'll take a special look at the Battle of the Giants coming up this Sunday between Kevin Nash and the Giant, and a special look at Sting as he prepares and is ready. Hollywood Hogan in the biggest single world title matchup the sport has ever seen.
Tony, just think about this.
I've been thinking about it for a long time.
Let me start out. Did you ever think you'd see a match between Kevin Nash and the Giant one-on-one?
No.
The Giant with a broken hand. Two biggest men in any sports one-on-one? I never thought so. Did you ever think you'd see Zbyszko in the ring against Eric Bischoff?
No.
Did you ever think you'd see Bret Hart, a member of the NWO or WCW, here at WCW?
No.
Did you ever think you'd see the match with Hogan and Sting?
No.
Only one way to see it.
Make the call.
Call who? Call the cable.
The event is Starrcade, fans, and you can make the phone call right now. It's this Sunday. The time is 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Will originate from the MCI Center of Washington. Hollywood Hogan and Sting is the headliner. The biggest match our sport's ever seen. But the Giant will collide with Kevin Nash. In addition, Eric Bischoff, a recover. Eric Bischoff will face Larry Zbyszko. Bret Hart will be the special referee. Make the call now and join us for Starrcade this Sunday.
All Disco's got to do here is just maintain his concentration. He's going to be all right.
Deep arm drag, nicely done that time.
Hope he never falls in love. You know how that can distract you. Or do you? I don't know.
Well, I guess we all do, don't we? Have you been in love before?
Nah.
You're just one.
You never made a whole lot of money doing that, I found out.
You're just one cranky man, aren't you?
Frankie?
Cranky.
No, my name's not Frankie. I don't know how many times I got to tell you this. Bobby. Tony's got bad hearing, folks. Calling me Frankie.
The midsection. Stop. Double underhook. And
I believe Armstrong has more wrestling ability than Disco. Just from the family background.
he's got more to draw from. But I think right now, Disco really is one of our hottest wrestlers. The World Television Champ, Disco Inferno.
Oh!
Wow, Armstrong put him down. And like anybody in our sport, be it a Steve Armstrong, be it a Disco Inferno, they all realize the importance of this Sunday's matchup between Sting and Hollywood Hogan.
You know, another thing our ticket man, Zane Breslov, told me.
Zane is our ticket man. He never got me any tickets for anything.
Well, I had a discussion with him. He's the head man, you know. He was telling me that he's never had so many requests for tickets from other wrestlers. Wrestlers outside the sport now, wrestlers that are in the sport now. You see, everyone wants to be part of this.
Dropped him down face first and rolls him over. Covers him. We almost had a new television champion here, Brain.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me. Disco looks like he's kind of lost his concentration here a bit.
To the midsection. Chart buster.
Just like I said. When you think you got him, he's got you. The man's always concentrating on what he's doing.
You didn't say that.
I just did say it. Listen.
You said, like I said. You didn't say it before. You just said that.
Well, that would be redundant for me to say it twice.
What? What?
Fever.
Why do I even argue with? Would you sit down?
I can't help it. It's in my blood.
It's not all in your blood. Here we go. Sit down, Brain.
I can't help it. My toe starts tapping. I can't help myself.
Can we get a camera over
Tony,
here on
quit
him?
back.
Can we get a camera over here? The brain is dancing. Oh, we're not going to be able to get a camera over here. All right. Well, I'm sure once you sit down and once you wake up in the morning after all the dancing you've been doing, you're going to need some Bengay.
Did you ever play baseball?
That has nothing to do with what I'm getting ready to say.
Of course not.
This replay brought to you by Ultra Strength Bengay. Go ahead, Brain.
Big high hip block by Disco Inferno on Steve Armstrong. Armstrong gives him a little shove. You can't do that to me, sucker. But he does. Nails him with the chart buster right here. He's not going to the top 10 of any chart. He's going right to the cellar on Make It or Break It. Your winner, Disco Inferno.
Brought to you by Ultra Strength Bengay. Hey, Brain, it's the strongest Bengay ever. We'll be back.
Oh, that's good for you.
Sting, Hogan. The fact that Sting has been the most mysterious man ever to be a part of professional wrestling, combined with his hatred of Hollywood Hogan, combined with the banner he's going to be wrestling under, makes for the biggest night in our sport. And you often wonder what Sting is thinking. Although he doesn't talk to us anymore, his non-verbal communication very, very strong.
Doesn't talk to anybody.
Lights going out. He doesn't have an expression on his face. He's very calculating, very cold, but I think his meaning is very crystal clear. He wants to destroy Hollywood Hogan, a chance Brain he's going to get this Sunday.
Yeah, you're right about that. And
do you think, let me interrupt you here.
Sure.
Do you think that defeating Hogan and winning the world title would be enough for Sting? Do you think he wants to end this man's career? Now, this has been an old theme that the NWO has used in their approach to WCW, ending careers, ending Flair's career, taking out other wrestlers, bucking tradition, ending WCW, ending tradition. Do you think Sting is thinking along that same line? Do you think he wants to end the career of Hulk Hogan?
That's what I think he wants to do. And I think by defeating Hogan and taking the title, that will totally destroy Hogan. And as many times as Hogan wants to keep coming back, or trying to come back, or trying to maintain some credibility for himself, the more Sting defeats the man and manhandles the man and dictates to the man where his career's going, that's what will destroy Hogan. The hard thing here is Hogan, remember, doesn't have to beat Sting. If Sting beats Hogan, Hogan can come back another day. But if Hogan beats Sting, I don't know if there's any coming back for Sting. So this is a lifetime opportunity for Sting. If Sting don't get it done here, something that just won't be right.
You don't think he'll ever get a title shot? You think that...
I don't know if Sting mentally will be able to take it, is what I'm trying to say.
I understand.
I don't know if Sting will be the man Sting don't beat Hogan, he'll never be that man he once was.
They have both had big matches in their career. And the history of Hogan and big matches, very well documented. The career of Sting and his big matches, very well documented. World champion over and over again. The franchise player. The man that took WCW and made it single-handedly. Made it into a powerful wrestling organization because of his charisma and his ability. Hogan comes aboard in 1994 with all his accolades, with his great history. And WCW with Monday Nitro, with Sting and Hogan both a part of our organization, becomes the #1 wrestling organization around the world. And now the two biggest stars will battle for supremacy. There's no question this is the biggest match in both men's careers.
You're right, and like we said before, wrestling will never be the same again. You can see the direction of it going now in a different way. Wrestlers are just getting bigger, they're getting stronger, there's more money involved, more contractual news coming out. It's just it's a whole different way of life now.
Well, we're into the 90s where television, the media,
the end of the 90s,
has a lot of money, and thus the money is out there for the athletes to get if they are successful. They all have their different roads they want to take to be successful. Hogan and Sting have chosen different paths. What path, though, will be out front, and what will lead professional wrestling into the year 2000?
This match, Starrcade.
Yes, we will.
Starrcade will.
We have certainly not given Hugh Morris and Greg Valentine their due here because they are remarkable athletes and two of the most successful men. And Hugh Morris puts the hammer down. He may be ready for his no laughing matter here, Brain. That's what he's ready for. Oh, and the hammer move. How about that?
The man who knows that ring very, very well.
Brain buster elbow on Hugh Morris. Greg Valentine, he missed.
Here's beginning to learn real quick.
Hugh Morris rolls him up. 1, 2, and he beat him. The winner is Hugh Morris.
Good win for Hugh Morris.
And now a special look at the Giant and Kevin Nash in their battle this Sunday. Starrcade, the event is this Sunday, and it is going to be, and of course, as you know, fans, for the better part of 2 years, it's been WCW against the NWO, but never like what we have for you this Sunday. Never has the two biggest stars for each side been involved in a match of epic proportions where the biggest title in the world will be on the line, but it will be this Sunday, and we encourage you to make the call right now. Speaking of NWO, they have members here this week, Frank.
Let's just take a look and just see how many and what members they are.
Scheduled to be Scott Norton to come out to face Lenny Lane, and, well, you're right, how many? Vincent comes out with him this week. Hey, Scott Norton, anybody will tell you, prior to his years with the NWO, Scott Norton was known as one of the toughest men in the history of our sport. And I say that not because he is strong, not because he was a great arm wrestler, but because Scott Norton was the type of guy that you could seemingly pound on. You think you could injure him, and he would just keep coming back. And you'd knock him down, he'd keep getting up. He truly will go down as one of the toughest ever.
Oh, he's legendary around the Minneapolis area. Big-time bouncer, arm wrestler, just a tough fighter. Just a one tough guy.
Real fast. Look, I'll hold this right here. That's how fast it's going to be.
Wouldn't you just like to slap him?
Why? Because he knows how fast is?
You really don't dislike the NWO as much as I do you? And I know there's a reason there. I know there's something going on there. Maybe 1998 will show us exactly what's going on.
No.
Oh, yeah.
No, I don't mind a corporate business takeover if it's done right and it's done by the right people. I don't like Hogan.
Fans, we encourage you to make the phone call and do it right now to join us for Starrcade this Sunday, 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Available on the Dish Network. Satellite dish owners, contact Turner Premier. If you have DirecTV, you can contact DirecTV and get direct ticket. Of course, if you have cable, it's available on pay-per-view. One way or the other, you cannot afford to be left out of professional wrestling history this Sunday for Starrcade 1997.
You can kick Norton all you want, you're not going to knock that big guy down. Oh.
I think they may find Lenny Lane's teeth in the front row.
At Ebbets Field.
You can't come walking to NWO's house and expect to walk out with a career. You'll go to your feet.
He is so methodical, and he really shows his opponents no regard, and he does that because he can. Because he knows that the headbutts, the big lariats, the forearms, the fists, not only knock you down, they make you groggy to the point to where you can't continue. And that's what's happened here with Lenny Lane. Oh, Lenny Lane has fooled us all. He has mounted a comeback, and Scott Norton shoved him down. To the midsection.
This don't look good. Okay, one arm is just carrying that man around. Shoulder breaker.
Scott Norton, decisive win in this match here on WCW Worldwide Wrestling.
Come back out my door.
Guys like Norton, Vincent, Bagwell, Conan, Paul and Nash. You know, they're all going to be looking and watching the Macho Man, watching the back of Hollywood Hogan this Sunday. Fans, we'll have more in the Starrcade edition of Worldwide Wrestling. We expect a great matchup here. We are back on Worldwide, and as the minutes count down and the hours go by, we anticipate the biggest match ever. Alex Wright is a man who has been very, very angry about American rules and American wrestling and wanting to have European rules and rounds and wrestle the way that he grew up.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, I don't either. And he wants that he should go back to Germany and wrestle there. But he doesn't have to worry about it here because he's going to wrestle one of the greats from Mexico, Rey Mysterio Jr. So forget American rules.
But over in Germany, they allow us to wrestle American rules, you know.
They do?
The WCW tours over there.
Okay.
Germany and Europe, we have our WCW rules.
All right.
We have some European rules you have to go by.
Well, Alex Wright is not a member of a German contingent touring the United States. He's a member of WCW. You wrestle by WCW rules, or you go back to Munich and do whatever you got to do.
I think you need a nap.
You think so? Well, you know, I'm tired of people trying to dictate things here in the United States. This is the greatest country in the world. This is the greatest wrestling organization in the world, WCW.
Hey, we elect all these morons that allow people to make these decisions. Not our fault. It isn't your fault, it's not my fault.
Oh, it's not your fault?
No.
Well, we're going to discuss this further. When we come back, Rey Mysterio Jr. and Alex Wright, comments from the brain. Stay with us. That is the bell, and this is the match. Alex Wright and Rey Mysterio Jr.
Oh, thank you. I thought I'd gone punchy.
You have. Nevertheless, the match is on the way here. I don't want to get into the political ramifications of wrestling in the United States versus wrestling in Germany, but I do want to let Alex Wright and his friends and family know that he signed to wrestle for WCW. Therefore, he must conform to our rules. You don't see Barry Bonds saying, I need 4 strikes, do you?
No, he asked for 5 originally.
Oh, he did. Thank you for that bit of information. Forget it. I'm not going to try to be logical with you ever again, okay? Only thing you and I can agree upon is that we want to see Sting beat Hogan. We want to see Larry Zbyszko stretch Eric Bischoff. Remember, knockouts count and submissions count as well. When Bret the Hitman Hart will be the special referee this Sunday.
Yeah, but I don't trust that. He told Eric, don't depend on me for any help.
Well, that's right. Good.
But can you believe him? They said he was NWO, Tony.
Yeah,
before he ever came here, before we ever saw him, they said he is coming here. He is NWO. You saw him in the ring with Bischoff. Bischoff hit him with that $7.5 million statement.
You're thinking this may be a little charade, a little game played by the NWO to make us feel that, hey, we got it in the hip pocket now? That's a great point.
If I was Zbyszko, I'd be very, very careful.
It's this Sunday. Rey Mysterio Jr. rocks the head of Alex Wright. Forearm shots. You can see the size differential here, but I tell you, if you measure the hearts, Rey Mysterio's is as big or bigger than anyone's in our sport. He ducks low. He ducked again. He's so quick. Look at this. And Alex Wright catches the man in midair in a backbreaker across the knee.
That hurts.
Thank you. It sure does. It hurts.
With my medical knowledge, I can tell from this vantage point here that hurts. And that hurts worse.
Does it really?
You should go to John Hopkins.
Yeah, you should. And stay. And gonna pick him up again. Now this has got a... Oh! Does that hurt?
That hurts a lot.
Yeah. You add so much here sometimes.
I could be Phi Beta Kappa.
You surely are.
Just like that and send me come lately.
And, boy, they don't like his dancing, do they? Now, you like his dancing.
I think he has kind of a European flair.
Good. He should dance over in Europe and not here. Chokehold here. Using the ropes, Rey Mysterio Jr. Alex Wright needs to go back and check the records, check the videotapes, and realize you can choke the man, you can try to injure him, you can pound him down, but he's not going to quit. Here he goes again. Rolls up Alex Wright. No, didn't get him almost, though.
Oh!
How about that?
He's so quick. He doesn't look it right now, but you know he's that quick. But he has such great leverage where he'll cover you, and you think because he doesn't weigh 250 pounds, you can throw him up. It's the way he puts his weight and distributes it on your body. He's got a tremendous knowledge of wrestling and the human body.
Now, successful wrestlers have to know the pressure points, the parts of your body that are weak. They have to study. It's not just easy as to put on a pair of trunks and ring the bell and go out and try to take somebody down. You've got to really know your craft.
No doubt about that. You know, there's a lot of slobs out there just because they said they went to a wrestling school and found out how to order a pair of boots and a pair of spandex. They think they're wrestlers. Well, try Mysterio on for size sometimes, gentlemen.
All those slobs are no longer wrestling for WCW. They're somewhere else. They don't last around here long. That's why this is where the big boys play. And we're talking about not only size, but heart. Rey Mysterio Jr. gets racked to the top turnbuckle by Alex Wright. That was just a escape move is all that was, to get the man off of it. But Alex Wright quickly goes back to the attack again.
Now this man, Alex Wright, you got to give him credit too. This man's in tremendous shape.
I can't deny that, and I know he's one of the finest wrestlers around the world.
You know, and the caliber of wrestling has really changed here at WCW.
The athletes are better.
Oh, we've set the pace for everything.
And you look at our athletes, look at their body, look at their size, look at their demeanor.
I mean, you talk about just how much better they look. I mean, look at Elizabeth. I mean, look at Queen Deborah. I mean, look at the Disco Girls.
What?
I mean, there's some beautiful people here at WCW.
You meant Nitro Girls.
Nitro Girls. What did I say?
Disco Girls.
You never seen Disco Girls?
He's got girls?
Oh. Friday night in Brooklyn, you never been with him?
Well, hang on. We were talking about the wrestlers. How did you get off on the girls?
I decided to change. I was tired of talking about the wrestlers. I don't have to talk about what you want to talk about.
Well,
you want to talk about it.
I want to talk about Starrcade because, the countdown is literally on now.
Oh, I'd like to talk about that,
You
too.
can still make the phone call all the way up until the 11th hour and make the call.
Oh!
Alex Wright drives the knee in. This is going to be a history-making night. This is going to be a night that you're going to want to probably record it and save for posterity, one that you'll be able to go back and say, I was a part of the biggest night in professional wrestling history.
And we only got a couple more minutes to tell you about it. So please, if you don't believe the brain and you think I'm just full of hot air and nothing but a no good, lousy, cheating, conniving weasel.
Most people do, yeah.
Fine, then you can do that. I could care less. But you gotta believe me on this one. This is gonna be the greatest card you'll ever see. Hogan Sting.
Oh, good move. Alex Wright hold on to the ropes.
Bischoff, Zbyszko.
Remember, if Zbyszko wins, he'll get Scott Hall. It's sold out our next pay-per-view in January.
And if Bischoff wins, NWO gets Nitro.
Yep. And Bret the Hitman Hart will be the special referee.
That's right.
Giant and Nash, Battle of the Giants.
Flair,
who was supposed to be in that match. We found out just right before we went on the air. Ankle, no longer able to be in the match. And now we understand Diamond Dallas Page will take his place against Kurt Hennig.
Like I was going to say, Flair, the importance in the
I'm sure Flair will be there, injured or not.
Oh, I know. This card is Starrcade. For Ric Flair not to be there, you know how important this is. So you can't miss this. You can't miss this. You'll be part of history.
Alex Wright caught the man and showing a lot of power, muscling the man up to his shoulders. But he's rolled up. 1, 2. Alex Wright kicked away. You know, we talked about the quickness of Rey Mysterio Jr. If you lose concentration for a split second, he'll pin you. He catches him again.
You know, he realizes he's not the biggest guy in the world. And he gets caught in a lot of predicaments he shouldn't. But he's always got another way out of it. He knows he could get caught. He knows this could happen. He really does use his head. That surprised me for a long time.
Mysterio pulling the ropes and Alex Wright suffering the consequences.
This is a great match with a good, fast, big man. And even a smaller, faster, little man.
Hurricanrana from the top. He caught him.
He got him.
And he pinned him. Now that was not the slickest Hurricanrana we've ever seen, but it worked.
His Karana was a little bit off, but he got him with the good Huda.
Yeah, very good. And you know, the fact is that the man was maybe a little bit too far into the ring for him to connect, but nevertheless, he adjusted almost in midair right there and came away with another sensational Rey Mysterio win there.
You got to get a look at this. Scoops him up from the side. Off that top rope. Underneath him. Hooks him. Grips one leg. Can't get the other leg, but that's good enough for the 1, 2, 3. Your winner, Rey Mysterio Jr. Happy New Year, Schiavone.
For the Brain Bobby Heenan, I'm Tony Schiavone. Make the call. Join us this Sunday, and we'll see you at Starrcade.